Downhill Baptist. Welcome to another video of reading the Bible. I hope you are having a good day so far. It's kind of early, but that's okay. I've already been part of a men's prayer breakfast. If you are not part of the men's prayer breakfast, I encourage to do that. They meet once a month on the first Saturday of every month. I had a great time with those men this morning. Just an awesome time. Well, let's dive into what we're reading today. Today's reading is Leviticus 7, Psalm 7 and 8, Proverbs 22, and 1 Thessalonians 1. And I would like for us to talk about the question one of the questions I posed to you, which is, what does this passage say about God? What is this passage? What are these passages say about God? And in today's reading, I noticed one that really stuck out that we don't often talk about in the American church, which is God's wrath. Psalm 7:8 says, God is a righteous judge, a God who expresses his wrath every day. God is a righteous judge who expresses his wrath every day. What does that mean? What does that mean about God? You know, oftentimes we think about wrath as a bad thing. And I guess in some ways it's a bad thing for those that are subjected to that wrath. But this is a good thing. This is a good thing. God is a God that righteously shells out his wrath. He doesn't abuse it. You know, part of the reasons we think that wrath is a bad thing is because we've seen wrath done in a bad way. But we know what good wrath is. I mean, even just regular society, we love these superheroes. And they do wrath. I mean, the Hulk, he is wrath. He is wrath. Batman is wrath. Iron Man, wrath. But we don't mind them doing their wrath. Why? Because in those characters, we see good, that they make their wrath good. Or let's just take it just normal today. Let's take it out of the movies and out of the comic books and bring it back to normal. We have judges that we expect them to enact wrath, justice on other people that deserves wrath, that deserves justice to be done. We expect it. And in fact, you know, all around us, there's all kinds of injustice that happens. There's all kinds of wrath, bad wrath that happens. And in some ways, a lot of times, I think we're more damaged when we see someone we trust, like a judge, enact wrong wrath, enact injustice, because we expect them to do it the right way. How much more so than God do we expect? And how much of a history have we seen God enact his wrath justly and rightly? There's no one else. I mean, there's not been a time where God's like, oops, I shouldn't have done that. There's been a time where he enacted his wrath with Noah and in that world, and he says, you know what, I'm just not going to do that anymore. But he doesn't apologize for it. He didn't say, oops, it was my bad, maybe a little bit too much. No, he just says, you know what, I'm going to do this in another way. And I would imagine that what we're going to see one day is that all that is part of his story. That maybe we need to understand what real wrath looks like. Oftentimes in the Bible, it talks about the fear of God. And, you know, in Sunday school answer, I often hear it's a healthy respect. And it is respect. I'm not saying that's wrong, but it's also a fear. God is a powerful God. We're not dealing with just any old God. A lot of times we treat God like grandpa, right? We don't fear grandpa because grandpa, he gives us good gifts and he just loves us no matter what we do. But God is not grandpa. God is God. He's a righteous judge. In today's reading, even in Proverbs 22, we see this. Proverbs 22:2, rich and poor have this in common. The Lord is the maker of them all. See, the Lord he has dominion. He's the king. 22 verse 4, humility and the fear of the Lord brings wealth, honor, and life. Humility and the fear of the Lord. Proverbs 22 through 23, do not exploit the poor because they are poor because they are poor, and do not crush the needy in court. For the Lord will take their case and will plunder those who plunder them. That's wrath. Isn't that a good thing? Don't we want to see people that exploit the poor be brought to justice? For wrath to be put on them? Not just because of, it's just good to see the bully get what's coming to him, but because we desire to see a right world. We desire to see good things happen. This is a good thing. We desire to see good win. This sums up in our reading today. I love how God just orchestrated this reading. 1 Thessalonians 1, the very last verse in 1 Thessalonians 1, at the very end of that verse, we see where Paul says, Jesus, who rescues us from the coming wrath. See, the reality is that we deserve wrath. We deserve wrath. We deserve God's wrath on us. We have not only have we betrayed and rebelled against God, we have hurt and betrayed our own people. And in this system of justice, we deserve wrath. But God has made a way for us not to have that wrath, because that wrath has been put on Jesus. Why can't God just excuse this? Why can't he just say, well, you sinned, but I'm just going to excuse it for now? Because God's a God of justice. And he's not an angry God where he's sitting around saying, boom, 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 boom. But he's a God of wrath. That's a good thing. So when you're reading this is a good example. It's a great example to me to remind ourselves when we're reading, this shapes how we think of God. That God is not an angry God. God is actually a God of wrath. And not only a God of wrath, he's a God of grace. Because not only is he going to pour out his wrath and make justice right, he has already brought wrath on his own self, his son, so that we do not have to suffer the consequences. What other judge does that? What other superhero has done that? That's a God of wrath. The God of the Bible. I'm glad we were able to talk today. I hope you're continue to read. Just press on. Saturdays. Today is Saturday, April 4th. It's just hard on Saturdays. Sometimes I get backed up on Saturdays. I don't read Saturdays, so I have to catch up on Sunday, or I don't read Saturday. Sometimes I don't read Saturday and Sunday. I have to catch up on Monday. But continue to read. Make this a priority. Write yourself out a to-do list every day. Make this. Put this on your to-do list. Put this. Block out 30 minutes of your day and say, "This is the time I'm going to read Scripture and I'm going to pray." Tomorrow's reading is Leviticus 8, Psalm 9, Proverbs 23, and 1 Thessalonians 2. I encourage you to leave comments and questions down below. If you're watching this on Facebook, you can leave comments right below this. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can. I've opened up the comment section down on YouTube. If you scroll towards the bottom, and you can leave your comments. I'll be happy to answer them. And if we have enough questions, I'll reserve one of these videos just for us to talk. But until tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow, not only in this format, but also in the service. If you're not part of our service, I encourage you to be a part of ours at Round Hill Baptist, roundhillbaptist.com. How to think about that. Please join us. It's going to be awesome for us to be together tomorrow. Palm Sunday. Have a great day and keep reading.